You are Locked On West Virginia, your daily podcast on the West Virginia Mountaineers, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
And what is up? Welcome back in, guys. My name is Mountaineer Paul. I am your host. This is Locked On West Virginia, talking a little bit about the portal again, man. And here we go. Hints started to come out yesterday. If you're in the Discord, you knew this already. Got to give Royce Morgantown credit. He's the person that let me know, man. And I think he was all over this. I don't know where he found it out from or anything like that, but he's the person that told me about it. And as I tell you guys all the time, I'm going to be honest about that kind of stuff, but whether people like him or not. I knew about this early because of him. So, it pays to have people, whether you like him or not. And I don't dislike him, by the way. I think that's way overblown. But anyway, we're getting off topic. So I think we should jump right into a breakdown here because the way I see it, man, this is the biggest addition to the portal class yet, possibly. And it has partially to do with the state of the offensive line room. I mean, let's be honest, man. Like, it's pretty obvious that Rich Rod and company were not happy with the way things had gone in the spring because look at everybody they brought in. We've got 8 guys we brought in now. Yeah, 8. Wyatt Minor, Kimo Makaniole, Walter Youngbear, Robbie Martin, Tykees Crawford, Mikkel Clay, Josh Isosa, and now Texas offensive line transfer, Malik Agbo, who's an absolute mammoth of a human being, guys. And I mean mammoth. So this is an interesting pickup. I'm not saying that, it was very much needed, in my opinion. I think this guy is an absolute stud. He comes in as an instant starter. But let's break him down and talk a little bit more about it. We'll talk about the other transfer that came in today, which was a big one, in a wide receiver, Justin Smith-Brown. Also, a couple visitors. I got an agency that messaged me and had let me know a few different things yesterday. So I've got some visitors that will be coming to Morgantown. And one really big one that I didn't get into yesterday because I didn't get it till after. I'll let you guys know about the Virginia Tech visitor. It's same agency, different player. So we'll talk about him as well. Another visitor coming in. Basketball's ground to a halt, guys. I don't know what to tell you if you're here for basketball for now, but it is what it is, right? So let's do that. And then also, we have to remember that this entire class is starting to get really, really big. And I mean, it's already been big, and we're going to kind of go over that. I've got everything grouped into categories. We're going to do that as well. So let's jump into this. Malik Agbo is an absolute monster, guys. I loved watching his tape. I really had fun with it. They played him at jumbo tight end a lot at Texas, and he was really good in that spot for them. And Texas was a really good team last year, guys. They were the top 5 team in most of the year. So that was a really deep offensive line room, and this dude was right there as one of their better players. So, he played as a freshman in 5 games as a reserve, 12 snaps at tackle. In 2023, played 12 games, logging 131 snaps, mostly as a jumbo tight end, which is like an extra blocker or left tackle. He had a game at guard. He caught a pass for 2 yards on a trick play. As a junior, he played in 15 games. Again, as a jumbo tight end. And he has some starting experience too there. His run blocking grade, really good. 73.9 in 2022, 73.6 in 2023, and 79.9 in 2024, which is closing in on, I won't say elite, but very, very good. So he entered the transfer portal on April 18th. He's 6'4", 310 pounds, guys. So he's a big kid. Obviously, offensive linemen are all big. I mean, it's just no matter where you're at. He's got a massive frame. He's got incredibly great. I mean, his agility is probably his biggest attribute, in my opinion. So he can play multiple positions. He's going to be able to play tackle or guard. He's an extremely, extremely strong run blocker with really good footwork and the ability to pull in space. His hand placement and pass protection techniques probably need to get better. And that showed up on tape at times. But he projects as a multi-year Power 5 starter with NFL upside, especially if he gets the pass protection aspect of his game down. I don't want to say it's bad. I just think that he doesn't have a lot of experience as a starter, as a pass protector yet. So the deep Texas O-line room, and they put out several NFL players the last couple of years, and he was still able to crack that lineup, starting a game. I think he played in a bunch of games, obviously, like we said. And he was basically their sixth lineman last year in reserve. So he was going to be a starter this year. But they had Kelvin Banks Jr. and Cam Williams guys. If you don't know, both of those guys are incredible players. So he was not going to crack the lineup with those two. It's just not going to happen. I mean, that's like Zach Frazier and Wyatt Milam for us. Like there's not many guys that are coming and beat those guys out. It doesn't mean those guys are bad players. It just means these guys are really good. So he consistently graded above 69 in run blocking, which is good. It showcases their strength and mobility. And that's in the SEC, by the way, and some of the Big 12. But his pass blocking grades reflect limited reps, in my opinion. I think he was brought in these jumbo packages when they were running the ball. And when they passed it, he was involved as a tight end. So he's a guy you can run out on trick plays and do things with. Maybe Rich Rod does the same. I'm not sure. This is an extremely high upside addition. He's going to be a starter. I'd be shocked, totally floored, flabbergasted. Holy shit! Like if he's not a starter, I'll be shocked. Either that or Michael Clay or somebody else has turned out to be really good. Which is possible. I'm not saying it's not possible, but they're probably paying this guy as much as anybody, if not more than anybody on the roster. I can almost guarantee you that. So he was a 4-star player coming out, guys. He had Alabama, he had Texas. Like all the major players wanted him coming out of high school. So that is just a plus, right? He moves extremely well. I told you guys about that, man. On some of the tape you can watch of him, he really moves well. I would say he's probably in that 4.7, 4.8 range. Like he can really run. I would imagine he could probably actually play tight end, a blocking tight end that can receive sometimes if he actually lost 50 pounds, probably. Like he can run a little bit here, which is great. He's got 170 snaps as a blocker. So, like I said, it's not a ton. It's not. But unfortunately, that stacked O-line room just had a lot to do with that. So on my transfer impact meter scale, out of 50, right? We do a 50-point scale on mine. So I got this one highly graded because I do think, based on what I've seen on tape, based on what I reached out to a couple of Texas people that felt like by the way, there are people that felt like he should have started for them last year for whatever you want to believe. There are people that believe that he should have been a starter, and that they should have paid him to stay. Like there's a lot of people that believe he deserved the opportunity. So I liken it to trying to think of somebody at West Virginia who left that we probably should have tried to keep. Maybe the kid that went to Oklahoma State, right? But he was already starting here, so it doesn't really. I don't know. I'd have to think about that. But so his production obviously is a 5 out of 10 because his 170 snaps in a reserve role at Texas suggests he's probably not, a guaranteed impact player, but his 4-star talent and run blocking ability on tape make him a really strong candidate for significant playing time. And I've already told you, I think he'll for sure start. His fit in the scheme is 10 out of 10. His versatility in the run blocking, guys, is going to mesh extremely well with Rich Rodriguez physical up tempo offense. No deductions here because I feel like the pass protection concerns are there, but it's not. This is a run offense. Like, when they do pass it, it's quick. I don't think it's going to come into play, and if it does, it's not going to be often. And if he is a liability, you can always protect your liabilities, especially in a run offense where you don't throw it a bunch. You can always throw a running back or a tight end over there to help. So I don't think it's a huge. I mean, maybe should have made it 9 out of 10 because of that, but whatever. Upside potential is 10 out of 10. It really is. He's got 2 years of eligibility left. He was actually high 4-star player coming out. He had Alabama, he had Michigan, he had Texas. Those are his final 3. So, he's going to develop into an all Big 12 caliber lineman and potential NFL player, especially with the proper coaching, and we know he's going to get that. Depth chart impact is a 10 out of 10 because I think West Virginia's aggressive offensive line additions with Clay, Isosa, and we've got 6 more here we can talk about. We're going to increase the competition, but Agbo is going to come in here and probably be the guy, right? I would imagine alongside guys that are already in that locker room that you can see as starters, like Livingston or whoever. This guy's going to come in and shake up the locker room like nobody's business. Long-term value is 10 out of 10. He's got 2 seasons left to play. So his eligibility provides substantial value, and he can anchor the line for 2025 and 2026, guys. That's a big deal to me for a composite score of 45 out of 50, which is one of the highest I've given. I do, the limited playing time is a factor, but it's not like it was at New Mexico, or it's not like it was at Northwestern even. This is Texas, a top 5 team for the last 3 years, right? Or 2 years at least. And he was their 6th offensive lineman. That's really good considering the circumstances, y'all. So I don't consider this a big deal at all, personally. So I think this guy's going to come in and be a monster for us from day one. And West Virginia is going to be happy to have him, guys, because I think a lot of people wanted him, obviously. So that's my thoughts on it. Let's go to a break really quick. And when we get back, we got a speedy wide receiver to talk about, guys. A guy that runs a 4.2 40. And I shared a video on my X of this guy, and I'll play it. He literally can jump and bounce his head off the ceiling. Like, this is a freak athlete West Virginia picked up. We'll talk about him next. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia also going to be brought to you by FanDuel, y'all. That's right. The playoffs are almost here for the NBA, and FanDuel is giving new customers an incredible way to get in on the action. Right now, new customers can get $5. If you win your first $5 bet, you get $250 in bonus bets. That's right. With FanDuel, guys, after the game tips, you can even combine live prop bets in the same game parlays for a chance to win big. So don't miss out and head to FanDuel.com for your $250 bonus, and you can do that today. It's segment 2. Let's crack a do, man, and talk about this new West Virginia wide receiver commit. So we've known about him for since he visited. We knew when he was here, and I did a breakdown on him then. But I think it's fair to do one again now. And so let's see. Where's it at? Oh, I had him first, okay. So Justin Smith-Brown from South Carolina State. I get it. Not a big school. The West Virginia's had a lot of these this year. But if you notice where they're adding talent at, they're mixing in a bunch of Power 5 guys here recently. Like, it's been nice to see for me personally. I just think Power 5 guys that have experience are, they're the most valuable assets out there, which is why I have Agbo as such a highly rated deal. But that doesn't mean that this guy here isn't going to make an impact. Actually, it means I think he really will. So, and I know, and look, you guys have seen me this year. I have been down on players this year, and I've gotten a lot of crap for that. So it's not like I haven't given anybody criticism. So I just want to, say that out loud really quick. But I'm going to share my screen with you guys and show you a couple things on this kid. This kid is fun, man. As you see Bill Belichick down here below, watch this little quick video of this kid here. Is it sharing the screen? Let me make sure it is. Yes, it is. Okay, so watch this kid as we roll through here. This is a freaking crazy video. So he's standing up on this bench, and I'm thinking, what's he going to do? Well, just watch what he does here. He jumps down off the bench, and then bounces his head off of a 10-foot ceiling. Guys, that's crazy. That's insane. Now, he does have a bit of a fro there, like, that probably accounts for it, and I'll be fair. Maybe it gives him an extra inch. Let's see. But, I mean, that's crazy, man. That's crazy hops for a guy. So let's get to it here. I think a lot of his film is fine to show because well, actually, I know it is because a lot of it is FCS footage. I don't think it's ESPN footage. So we're going to show a couple plays of the kid. He can play, man. He runs a 4, and there's video of him showing he runs a 4.25 40. 4.25 40, guys. This is the wrong guy. Sorry. Michael Quick. Let me get over to here to where I can find. My apologies on that, guys. And I think the video of him running the 4.25 is on this little reel here somewhere. Let's see. Sorry about that, guys. I had it here. This is it. Phoenix again. Yeah, this is it right here. Okay. So here's Justin Smith-Brown.
And back over the middle.
Let me turn that volume off so I don't get copyright hit. Justin Smith-Brown. There he is, way deep. He's got great hands on the deep ball, guys, as well, which you'll see on a couple of these. I mean, he is extremely fast. I think he's going to be a great kick returner for West Virginia. I think he's going to be great in the slot. He's going to be a kid that they throw these bubbles out to, and he's going to absolutely fly down the field and make plays. I think that's what he's going to do for sure. Look at this move right here, man. I love this move right here. So he's got some shake and bake to him. I love straight line guys, but I love straight line guys like Tavon Austin that can also make moves like this. Watch this little juke. See ya. I like that. Shows you a lot about him. He's got great hands, by the way. He makes several catches with his hands out in front. Like a lot of guys catch with their chest these days. He's catching with his hands, and he's not small. He's 6 feet tall, guys. So he's not like a 5'8" kind of, one of those. Like he's got some size to him, as you can see there. That's a good reference right there, probably, around other people. As you can see, I mean, he's not short. Like, he's as tall as some of these other grown men. So not a small kid. Look at these arms. This is what makes great wide receivers that a lot of people don't talk about. Arm length, because it gives you, obviously, the more space a quarterback has to make a mistake, the more accurate he doesn't have to be, right? So this absolutely is a factor, in my opinion, as well. Man, there's a catch he made in the end zone on a play that I wanted to show you guys. It was awesome. Let's see if I can find it. No, that's not it. This is him working out. This is old film. I may not be able to find it here, but yeah, there he is lifting the entire weight stack. I mean, how crazy strong is this kid? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plates on each side. That's insane for a guy his size, y'all. So I would venture to say he's probably a really good blocker as well. But I mean, like, somebody needs to get a hold of Bruce Feldman, because I think this kid deserves to be on the freaks list. Like, he not only does he run a 4.25 40, but he can bounce his head off the ceiling of a 10-foot ceiling, and he can squat. Somebody let me know how many 5 plates is. I guess those are probably 45-pound plates. The bar is going to be 45 pounds. So that would be 11 times 45. Somebody do that math. I can't do that while we're live. I'm not smart enough. So, all right. So obviously, let's break him down now, because I didn't even do the breakdown yet. As a freshman, he had 8 receptions for 132 yards and a touchdown. He increased that production his sophomore year to 19 for 315 and 2, which is pretty decent. But last year he had the breakout. 54 catches for 749 yards and 4 touchdowns, earning all MEAC honors. He played 724 snaps, which is the single highest total in a long time, guys. He's got 81 career receptions for 7 touchdowns across his first 3 seasons, but he really didn't play a lot until just this year. 710 snaps as receiver, 663 on the outside from what I read and some things I put together, which means that he's going to have a primary outside receiving role, but I think he'll play the slot too in West Virginia. So his 58.7% catch rate is pretty damn good. For 540 of the 111 or the 1,196 yards came after the catch. So yak is a big deal for him. His average depth of target is 12 yards, guys. So that's intermediate and deep route territory for him. So that's where he's going to live at. He's one of those guys. He could be a chain mover or he can be a touchdown getter. It really just depends. He caught 6 of 9 contested catch opportunities, which means he's really good in traffic. I mean, that's a great percentage on contested catches. And his run, I knew it. I remember this now. 71.8%, 71.8 Pro Football Focus grade in run blocking, guys. So, I mean, and it makes sense. You just seen him. How much did he squat just now? I'm sure somebody's probably already said. 495 pounds he squatted. So that's incredible for a wide receiver. Pretty good stuff, right? So obviously, big pickup. I like the kid a lot. I really do. I think they're doing a good job scouting out some of these lower level players. So scouting report wise, he's noted for his speed off the line. Quickness off the line, actually his speed, and he's noted for his speed and then his quickness off the line. Those are 2 different things. The ability to stretch the field vertically is there, obviously. He's got great hands. His route running ability is where he needs refinement, in my opinion, especially against press man. I think that he gets a little knocked off his spot, but if you let him run by you, it's a wrap. He's gone. So that's why I think the bubbles and different things for him will be great. He's a raw talent with upside. I think he's got a lot of upside. There's no doubt about it. So he's going to be an underrated pass catcher for the Mountaineers this year that could turn into one of the better ones. I think he's got the chance to do that. Rodriguez is going to get him involved, especially on those. And there's a couple of videos I've seen of him taking into rounds all the way to the house. So anytime you can get the ball in his hands, it's going to be a big deal. Transfer meter impact scale, production is an 8 out of 10. He had 54 catches for 749. That's big. Fit in scheme is a 9 out of 10. He's going to be able to play slot or outside. I think his speed, yards after catch ability, and his great blocking on Pro Football Focus align perfectly with what Rodriguez wants to do, which is fast-paced, physical offense. His experience at outside receiver is going to help a bunch because those guys block a lot for a Rich Rod offense. His potential upside, I have that at 7 out of 10. He's 22 years old, so he's got 1 year left. His upside kind of capped here, right? He's got 1 year to make this thing happen, but his athleticism and recent production, to me, suggests that he can push through and with 1 year left, and I think he could possibly be one of those guys we look at next year like, God, why can't he have 1 more year left? Depth chart impact is right there at an 8 out of 10. West Virginia has 14 scholarship wide receivers now. His going to be a veteran on that roster. So he's going to compete for a top 3 role, right? I think especially, now that Huddy and some of those other guys left. So that's a big deal. And his long-term value is 6 out of 10 on my scale here. Limited to 1 season, which is going to reduce his long-term impact. But I think his experience could mentor some of the young receivers. So that's going to be a big deal for a total overall score of 38 out of 50. Now, I do think that could go on up, absolutely. And he could definitely be a bigger impact. It's just, for now, I think that's a good spot for him. So let's go to break. And on the other side of break, we'll talk a lot more about those visitors we promised in the early opening. Stick around, guys. It's Locked On West Virginia. We'll be right back. And this episode of Locked On West Virginia is going to be brought to you by none other than Game Time. Right now, guys, there's nothing like the atmosphere of the NBA playoffs. Every bucket, every defensive stop, every moment feels huge. It's electric in the arena, and Game Time can be part of it without the stress of last-minute ticket hunting. Game Time makes it fast and easy to get playoff tickets, even when the demand is high. Price on the app actually goes down as tip-off gets closer, and their last-minute deals can save you up to 60%. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app and create an account to use Locked On College for $20 off your first purchase. That's right, Locked On College for $20 off. LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. And download the Game Time app today. Last-minute tickets, lowest prices, guaranteed. And ask yourself the question of questions. What time is it? It's game time. All right, guys. So let's roll into a little bit of roster management / visitors as we talk about a visitor that I was able to confirm yesterday, which has also now been put out by the agency, but they were nice enough to let me put it out ahead of time, which I do appreciate. Brett Streeter, the agent for Mr. Caldwell, Jalen Caldwell out of Grand Valley State, 6'7", 330 pounds, elite arms, guys, as far as arm length. Some of the longest you're going to find at 6'7". He's got Kentucky and Florida State also on his visitation list. So he is a highly sought-after player as well. And another offensive lineman, guys, was the GLIAC Offensive Lineman of the Year at Grand Valley State. He's just a massive. 6'7", 330 pounds is huge. True power for size, strength, and movement skills is what scouts say. He's got a length to shield quarterbacks from speed runners, rushers, which is a key trait in the Big 12 where there is a lot of passing at times. He's athletic for his size, guys, capable of pulling or blocking in space, which does fit a Rich Rod offense, which is a little more modern with the spread tendencies, right? He played at Phillips Academy in Chicago, Illinois over Coach Joe Winslow, who I looked up, and he's a legendary coach in that area. He earned all conference honors as a senior, indicating, he had some regional recognition, but no really major recruiting rankings and 247 rivals suggest, he was under-recruited to me. So that happens. He was a late bloomer as well. And his school exposure, I think, had something to do with that. Grand Valley State is a 2022 season, redshirted, didn't play. 2023, he played in a few games. They went 11-1. In 2024, that was the breakout year where he became an offensive lineman of the year. He allowed no sacks that I could find. Their offense was really good. They went 11-1. They were 28. They averaged close to 30 points a game, which was seventh in the Division II. So this is a D2 player, obviously. So there is a bit of a projection here. He's got 2 years of starting experience, but I mean, he is a massive athletic offensive tackle with elite length and power forward potential, I think. Obviously Kentucky and Florida State's involved here for the upside. So that's my kind of work through on him. I think there's a lot to like. Another name to be looking at, guys, is Christian Abney, tight end from Ball State. This is a mystery one. He has no production there. He's 6'5", 250 pounds, and I'm told the West Virginia's reached out by his people close to him. So is he actually going to come on a visit? I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that they reached out to me and said, hey, just letting you know, saw you were posting. West Virginia has made contact. So I'm out here. I am to tell you guys, West Virginia's made contact with Christian Abney from Ball State. Now, I don't know what that's going to mean. I know they're number one tight end just with the Wisconsin, who caught 100 balls or whatever. So maybe he's just kind of trying to follow in his footsteps or something. Really unsure. Really quick before we jump off here, this transfer class, guys, is getting insane. Can I just read you guys all the names? It's crazy, man. Like 8 of them are offensive linemen, first of all. You got Robbie Martin, Walter Youngbear, Kimo Makaniole, Wyatt Minor, Malik Agbo, Josh Isosa, Michael Clay, whichever, and Tykes Crawford, who, by the way, can you imagine Malik Agbo and Tykes Crawford, 2 SEC offensive linemen starting? It's pretty damn good, guys. It all started with Jordan Scruggs, for West Virginia. This is in order from what I can tell. Oron Singleton came next, Walter Youngbear, Gerard Bowie, Jacob Barrick, Jalen Henderson, Cyrus Traw, uh, Ashton Woods, Cam Vaughn, Ethan Head, Jordan Walker, Fred Perry, Derek Carter, Michael Coach Jr., Devontae Golden Nelson, Kimo Macanaiole, Ty Edwards, Justin Harrington, Chase Wilson, Wyatt Miner, Robbie Martin, William Davis, Braden Siders, Tykees Crawford, Max Brown, Jason Chambers, Jamori Robinson, Jeffrey Weimer, Michael or Mickle Clay, Nick Taylor, Grayson Barnes, Eddie Kelly, Christian Hamilton, Ben Bogle, Josh Isosa, Cade Hensley, Justin Smith-Brown, Malik Agbo. Those are our transfers, guys. You want to talk about a lot of influx of talent to this room, to this team. I don't know what to expect. I don't know. So I just think that we need to be careful with the expectations in year one. It's starting to get to the point to where, and I'm told there's at least possibly 8 to 10 more coming. So I don't know how to project it. I really don't. I think that to expect this team to be good in year one would be not fair. Even though we have a lot of talent coming in, I mean Big 12 championship good. I'm not saying they can't win 6 or 7 games, but like to expect Rodriguez to turn this thing around in the first year is not fair, in my opinion, with all this turnover. Now, if it becomes the new norm for everybody, where everybody's bringing in this much every year because it's starting to get to that point, then you're going to start to get to where, okay, so whoever's the best at flipping roster every year, like 40, 50 guys will be the best team, right? And that's fine. But generally, like this is wild, man. And if you haven't seen, Arkansas is trying to enforce a buyout clause or something along those lines for a player they lost to UCLA, who was the brother of the Tennessee quarterback that went to UCLA. I don't want to say their last name because I'll butcher it. Amalibia is the funniest one I've seen, which I know is kind of played out by now, but it's still funny. Amaliaba, I think that's how they say their last name. Nico Amaliaba. His brother followed him to UCLA, and Arkansas obviously feels like that was a package deal, and they kind of got screwed on the deal because this kid was also really good, 4-star player. And there's a buyout clause in some of these contracts that are happening now. So what's going to happen is, these teams are going to start to be able to enforce this. Jose Perez never played a game for West Virginia. I'm told he left with all the money that he was given. So not fair. This shouldn't happen. Tucker DeVries, I gave him money for another appearance. He left without ever doing that. So, it's all geared towards them. Hey, maybe if this happens, maybe I can retroactively get my money back from Tucker. Kidding. All right, guys, that's all I got for you. I hope you have a great day. Hope you have a great weekend, the rest of your weekend, although it is Sunday. We'll have a new setup this coming week, by the way. Thank you to Raven. Thank you to Dylan. Thank you to Shaq. Thank you to, and Raven knows the rest of everybody. I can't remember everybody's name, but I know there was like 4 or 5 or 6 of you guys involved in getting me the new setup, which I appreciate that. It was just very much a surprise. You guys definitely just told me you were doing it, which I appreciate. So we'll have a new microphone and arm and all that stuff here coming up next week. So be looking forward to that too, guys. And I appreciate you guys so much for being so supportive. There's a lot of hate out there. I've started blocking people. I didn't think I would ever do it because it's kind of like saying they win, and I had to get to the point to where, okay, so they're just going to continue. I had to do it. It was just, there's no way to, they have no identity. You don't know who they are. So, it was just getting to the point to where I was like, let's put too much energy into this. So, I appreciate you guys. Hope you had a great week. I think that's really all I got. I was trying to make sure, at the end of these videos, I'm always stalling for time to think, to make sure I didn't forget anything. I did make a list of grouping all of our transfers in one group. I mean, I could read that to you real quick. Nah, we'll do that another time. I'll save that for another video. We're already over 35 minutes, so they're telling me I need to cut down on some of the time on these, so I better do it. All right, guys. If we have any more commitments today, if there's any basketball news at all, I will definitely jump back on here, but anticipate seeing you guys tomorrow otherwise, and have a great rest of your weekend. All right, guys. I'm out of here.